Hey guys, this is XJ9, and this is gonna be a demonic gorilla guide. This is along with Basilisk Knights is how I make a lot of my money in this game, and I really enjoy them. I used to do Tormented Demons back in the day, like 10 years ago or whatever, so they sort of really fit my play style. I'm very used to them. This is gonna be a very simple guide though. It's not gonna be super four-way swap or anything like that. You can probably even do this on mobile, honestly, with how I'm gonna say how to do it. First off, gear. Again, this is a Slayer guide, so Slayer helmet. Amulet, I bring Amulet of Fury. I don't bother bringing a Torture and Anguish swap. You could if you have a Twisted Bow because there's a bigger delay, or you could if you bring like a Rune Crossbow, Armor Crossbow, or a Twisted Bow. But since we're using a Blowpipe, you need to attack pretty much within a game tick after the blowpipe shoots. So there's really like no time. But if you're shooting a weapon that has a longer cooldown between attacks, you can actually bring another swap. But this is a very simple guide, so we're not doing that. So Amulet of Fury. Ava's Assembler. If you have an Ava Assembler, Ava's Accumulator or whatever you call it, just bring that. I bring a Blessing. If you're using a crossbow, you have to bring, bolts. So my weapons I'm bringing you and equipped as you start is Arclight and a Dragon Defender. If you want to be very lazy, you don't have to use an Arclight. Like if you don't have an Arclight too, you don't have to use that. You could just use a whip. However, if you want to be really lazy, you can literally just use a God Sword and a Toxic Blowpipe. Okay, that's literally all you need. That's if you want as simple as possible to get used to it. However, Arclight and a Dragon Defender is a huge DPS combo, and it's only a two-way swap, so it really isn't that hard, I would think. Again, to just do what's comfortable with you and get used to it. Uh, I would always take an Ancient DI top, no matter what. Just nice per bonus and range bonus. I bring Ancient DI chaps. It actually doesn't matter what chaps, as long as it's one of the God chaps, I just use Ancient. However, if you're inexperienced and you're a bit not sure how you will do. Bring a Varix plate skirt. It'll do just fine. It'll tank a lot of the hits and make sure that your prayer and just make you comfortable. I bring Primordial boots. If you don't have Primordial boots, it's just for the defense and the slash. It's just a nice rounded boot. You can just bring Dragon boots. I don't think Guardian boots are good just because I think they actually lower your magic. Not I mean your range attack a bit. I'm not quite sure about that. You can look that up if you want, but either bring Primordial boots or Dragon boots. Honestly, I bring Barrow's gloves. Is just the best hybrid gloves. If you don't have these, just bring a combat bracelet or something. Although if you did Monkey Menace too, you probably have Barrow's gloves, honestly. So I also bring a Berserker ring. Berserker ring actually increases the damage of an Arc Light by 3. If you're not using an Arc Light, you can get away with some other rings, such as get away as in like you can bring a tank ring, such as the Ring of Suffering. It's plus let me make sure it's recording. Yeah, plus 20 in all defense stats, plus 4 prayer, and it'll just make your life a lot easier if you're learning. However, since we're bringing Arc Light and we just want to do damage, just Berserker ring. So inventory, uh, I bring a Sherm Godsword again. If you're doing Slayer, definitely buy this. And Gorillas, this is easily the best special weapon here. If you don't have a Sherm Godsword, the best special weapon is the Blowpipe just because of healing. And if you have a Blowpipe, you can just use the Arc-like spec. Uh, at that point, if you don't have one of those specs, I'm not sure. I mean, you could bring a Bandos God. Like, if you don't have a Sherm Godsword, at least have a Bandos Godsword and spec them. That'd be nice. They don't have a lot of defense anyway, though. Uh, Toxic Blowpipe. Wait, wait. Toxic Blowpipe. Sorry about that. Uh, Toxic Blowpipe is for your range weapon. If you don't have a Blowpipe, just use like a rune crossbow or something. Or yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the second best thing. Nature runes for high alks. Rune pouch is full of laws, lavas, and airs. It's very important not to have max law runes because these do drop law runes. So you want to fill your pouch as you get them. And inventory space can be a big issue here if you get a lot of like per potions or a lot of different drops all at once. I bring a holy wrench just because they drop prayer potions, so you'll be drinking a lot of prayer potions during the courses, and it just saves nice money. I like bringing holy wrench. I'm also at a prayer level where I get +2 prayer per dose because of holy wrench. If you want to get +1, I probably wouldn't bother. You can just Google that. Royal seed pod to get to the grand tree easily and to the gorillas. 6 prayer potions. You'll get prayer potions at a drop. If you feel you need maybe one more, you can bring that. I also bring just quick Quorum bombs just to heal and sustain. Again, I would highly recommend at least 80 in all stats. These don't have a lot of defense, so you can actually get away with having low stats and doing these. And so to get to these, just teleport to the royal tree pod. One thing I like to do though is if you, let's say your trip's over, you would just teleport back here, go up the ladder, and just use the bank over here. However, like if my trip's over, what I would do is just teleport to a house. Just get my HP back, and I just go to the Grand Exchange and then just bank, and then I go back here. I just find it easier. That's why I bring my lava runes. But if you're just starting, you just use it, go out the street, and you just run northwest. This place really isn't far away, so you can get away with, this is only a 25-minute trip. You can even not even bring these and just bring more food if you wish. I like bringing one dose potions because inventory becomes a huge issue during these, especially if you kill them fast. So I like bringing this type of setup. I could easily bring a 40-minute setup, but I think it's too hectic with your inventory management. Just keep going over here. Pray magic. These won't even hurt you if you're praying, not praying, by the way, so don't worry. Quick prayer is going to be magic and piety. Pot up. Drink eat your crumbon. And just attack one. Always pray magic when you're first starting these fights. So already it's using magic. The mechanic with these is that after 3 splashes, 3 zeros, it'll swap an attack style. It didn't move, so I know it's going to be range. And right after this third range attack, it's going to see. So it's a magic because I have auto retaliate on, and when it hit me, my character automatically went onto the gorilla. And when that happens, it's easy to say, oh, it's not going to melee me, right? Uh, right here, it walked next to me, so I know it's going to melee me. Uh, Sometimes there's a weird animation delay. So here I'm also going to pray magic because it can either be a range or magic here. And since magic just hurts way more than range, so you just want to pray magic at all times when you're first starting in a fight with a gorilla, or if the gorilla just was in melee style. Okay. One more hit, and it's dead. Uh, so again, pray magic when you start. It's ranging me. That's 1, 1, 0, 2, 0. This is gonna be the third 0. Walk away 1. Walk away 1. It's still doing rock. These rocks just dodges one, walk 1 away. It's walking next to me after that third 0. So it's melee. And just start hammering it. Make sure your prayer's fine. Oh gosh, guys. We're fine. Pray magic. It's maging. Again, I don't only do two-way swap. I also zoom in because I'm using a large screen. If you're using a smaller screen, this is actually quite a bit easier. I'm not used to playing like that though, so I don't bother. That's the third magic, I think, honestly. If you don't have rigor as well, you can just camp piety the entire time and you'll do just fine. It's gonna melee me, I think. Yep, it's melee. So the thing with this is every 3 zeros it hits on you, it's going to swap styles. If it hits on you, it won't count. So if it hits me 3 times in a row with like at least 1 damage, it's going to not count towards its swapping its style. It has to hit 3 zeros in a row. And here I'm going to show a example. Well, so that's 2 zeros. I'm going to turn this off. 3 zeros. Right now, it's completely random. It's a 1 out of 3. It's going to do triple melee here. Because if you're not praying the correct style and it splashes the third hit, it's completely random. It's a 1 out of 3 to be the same style. So that's one again, 1 0. Two, is that two? Honestly, I don't, yeah, that was 3. That was 3 guys. So I can't count today. Honestly, it's a bit hard to talk and do this, so please excuse that. But yeah, that hit me, that mage attack. So this is the first major hit. So again, this needs two more hits. It's melee because again, the animation is a big delay. However, if you have auto retaliate on, it'll swap. And I'm sorry about my prayer. Oh gosh. And I mean, I'll be honest. This is mostly sort of like it's what if you just practice like no matter what, always be praying magic. If you're bringing a Varric plate skirt, you can pretty much like tank the first hit the majority of the time. So once you get the hang of things, like you'll like what I'm saying here will make sense. Just maybe go back and try to understand it a little bit, and you know, again, it's just every 3 hits the swap styles and always pray magic though. So right now it's either gonna be range or mage, and I'm gonna pray mage because that hurts most, and it ranged me, but that's not a big deal because it usually hits low. These have a max of 30 by the way, no matter what. I think I'm supposed to pray range still. So right now it's random actually, guys. So it's gonna do 2 more range hits because it hit a 0 on its 3rd range hit. However, it's still using ranged. So I'm gonna demonstrate also like if you want to be lazy, you can just literally just use a god sword here and just camp that the whole time. Rigor will also increase your kills by 10 to 15 if you use it. You just swap to a god sword. Like you don't need the arc light. You can literally just camp a god sword if you have it. What a great spec. And yeah, I mean, honestly, I think that's really it. Uh, again, just practice, 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 and again, I don't think these are that hard. Just remember to count to 3, and that's really it, honestly. And and the most important thing to remember is if you're not praying the correct prayer and they splash, hit a 0. It's a completely random what style they're going to use. It can be any style. So there's potential for oops. Like, see, I messed up there. It's gonna mage now. It's not following me anymore. It's either mage or range. So, and again, just camp piety if you don't want to swap the rigor, or if you don't own rigor, just camp piety the entire time. You need the defense. But yeah, the most important. But like I said, uh, if it splashes the 3rd hit and you weren't praying the correct thing, just remember that it's completely random. So that was my biggest issue learning these was I just didn't understand why it was maging me like 6 or 9 times in a row. So I really hope you enjoy this guide. I know it's very again a cookie cutter guide. That's why I try to go for it's cookie cutter guides. Please excuse this gameplay. It's really hard to talk and play at the same time. I'm not used to it at all. And yeah, I just hope that this cookie cutter guide really helped you out. And yeah, just there's no need to do like 4-way swaps. You can easily get I can easily get 60 plus kills an hour here, easily on task. So hopefully you can do that too. Honestly, so yeah, hope you enjoyed it. Bye.